landscapers, pesticide people, everyone in that area, I have something for you. Check out Project Quoting. The link is in the description below. And you can do a 14-day free trial to see if the program is good for you. It helps you quote. It's linked to QuickBooks. It is a phenomenal way to ease up the back end of your business on the admin side so that you can focus on the harder work you guys are doing outside. Hello everyone, welcome back to the New Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we are here with Phil Falardeau of Live Free Chiropractic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to learn about you and your business and where it all started.
Yeah, it was funny because driving here brought up a lot of memories because we used to go market around here and go to B&I, but probably it started over 10 years ago. I got under care with a chiropractor. At the time, my wife and I were working as civil engineers, and I was never really big into engineering. When I went to college, I sort of just went with that route based on my strengths, not really based on anything that I was interested in.
Yeah.
Kind of tripped and fell through engineering school. Finally graduated, didn't even really want to go be an engineer, finally got a job, didn't really like it, and always was looking for a way out. And I got under chiropractic care and learned a lot about health and healing and chiropractic. And I'm always attracted to what you've been told was a lie or what everyone thinks is wrong. So chiropractic's huge about that. So I got really into the natural side of health and staying away from drugs and things like that.
Yeah.
And I was sort of thinking I wonder what it would be like to go be a chiropractor. And then right at the same time, the wife, chiropractor, was a husband and wife, said oh, you should go to chiropractic college. And of course I was thinking wow, this is a husband and wife. My wife and I weren't married at the time, but I was thinking about it, so I was wow, that would be a really cool life to work together and stuff. So
yeah,
they gave me this CD about this chiropractic college down in Atlanta, which at the time I was thinking that's crazy, no way I go there, because I'm from around here, graduated from UMass Lowell, grew up in Chelmsford, and I was thinking no way we go there. But one thing led to another. We both got laid off in 2009 within a month of each other. It was always in the back of our minds, and finally in 2010 we're let's do it. So, but we started kind of just dipping our toe in the water. We took one class at Middlesex Community College in spring 2010. At this time we were living off unemployment, which I'm not super proud of, but we're living off unemployment, not really doing much, kind of living the dream, but also not doing anything to contribute to society. So we're going to school for that. Went down to Atlanta to check the school out in July 2010. Ended up enrolling there 2011. Graduated in actually 4 years ago, 2 days ago, June 2014. Wow. And then didn't have anywhere to go really, but wanted to get out of Atlanta because a lot of people graduate from that school and then they're stuck in Atlanta, and we didn't really like it down there. We wanted to move back here, so we moved back here. We moved in with my wife's parents, so that was humbling. Thank God they let us, but it's humbling to be gosh, I'm not providing for anyone, not providing for my wife, not doing anything. But we had some really great mentors that taught us how to open up our office. So July 2014 we just started going around, getting in networking groups, going to chambers of commerce, going business to business. And this was before we ever even had our location. We were actually kind of thinking about opening up in Bedford. Yeah. At first we were thinking Laconia, but then that seemed too crazy. So then we said Bedford. We were thinking people in Bedford got some money, so they'll be able to pay for chiropractic care.
Yeah.
So for a while we were thinking Bedford, maybe Manchester, maybe Merrimack. We looked at all these different spaces. They all fell through. And we were networking from July through November and meeting people, and people were oh, I can't wait to come be your patient and all these things. And they're like, when the heck are you going to open? I mean, it was getting like stressful. And like, we didn't even have a place. Like, have you got a place yet? Have you got a place yet? Have you got a place yet? You know, they're looking at us like, look at these two idiots that don't know what they're doing. So finally, we found a place down in Nashua. And so that was like in November. Finally got it open February. In that time, you know, we met a lot of people. Probably had 10 to 15 people, like new people coming in for assessments that first day.
Yeah.
It was the day after the Patriots won the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. So, I mean, I was flying high for sure, but, you know, scared out of my mind how this was going to go. And then we got like a full-on blizzard that day.
Yeah.
So only one person came in, God bless him, came in, got under care and everything. Yeah, one person that first day. Those first few weeks are just like a blur. You know, we were open like, we're right now we're only open Monday through Thursday. At that time we were open like Monday through Friday, like 8 to 8 at night. You know, just like open as much time, like get people in. We had a young woman that started with us to like answer phones and things, but between the three of us, none of us knew what we were doing. Like business-wise, I mean, we knew how to like, you know, adjust the spine and take x-rays, but like we didn't know business-wise. Somehow we put it together and made it through. I mean, that first year was kind of nuts, but I mean, we did pretty well. What's nice is the mentors that we have. The program that we're a part of is really good at taking people right out of school and getting them into like an established practice situation where they're, you know, at least like comfortable. I mean, believe me, I mean, there's still days today that I'm like, gosh, is this all gonna like go away? But I mean, we're doing pretty well now. We've been there for over 3 years, and I think if you had told me like when we went to chiropractic college, like this is what it was gonna be like, I'd have been like, heck yeah, awesome. I mean, sometimes, you know, they say like comparison's the thief of joy and stuff. Sometimes, you know, we look at these other chiropractors that are in the same program as us that see like 2-3 times as many people as us, and they haven't even been in practice as long as us, and that can be humbling too. But 10,000 foot view, like very satisfied with how it's gone for sure.
Yeah. You know what I like about your story?
What's that?
It's very honest and like down in the dirt compared to a lot of like the really nice polished stories I typically get. People like, yeah, we started, it's awesome, things are going great. I'm like, you're lying to me.
Yeah, right. No, for sure. And I know, like, and I'm telling you, like, I've been thinking about what it was going to be like coming in here and talking what you talk about, but like driving here so reminded me, because, you know, especially I was thinking even driving here, like, wow, we like waste. I think if I could do it over again, I would have definitely focused more on getting like the space we were going to be in, and then marketed to that space more, where we were like, let's just get out, get our name out, get marketing, and then like we'll find the space, which essentially happened. But like we spent so much time marketing in like Bedford and Manchester. We both were in BNIs up here, and I think a lot of that was ended up, you know, being a little bit fruitless, because so many of the people that we had met were like, well, you're just like a little too far for me to come to. You know, it is. I mean, we're not even just like in Nashua, we're in like South Nashua. Yeah. So it's like, and I can understand. So, I mean, I was thinking that driving here, like, wow, you know, spent so much time and energy and money too, you know, driving up here, meeting all these people. But I mean, it was all good experience.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like just even like going to all those chamber events and things, or even like the Friends of Kevin that I met you at a couple weeks ago, like, you know, that's something that a lot of people don't like do, like a skill set that a lot of people don't develop, is like, or you're going to go to like a room of people that like you don't really know more than one or two of them, and you're going to tell them all what you do, and like that is way outside of like probably anyone's comfort zone, definitely ours. So
yeah,
that was fun. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's tough. You know, I've been thinking about life a lot lately. You know, I think a lot of us have a tendency to look at people like, you know, people that have a lot of money, like like, Tom Brady's been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah.
Here's a guy, a lot of people look at him, full admission, I love Tom Brady, have ever since I laid eyes on him. Brought so much joy to my life, so I'm very much a Tom Brady apologist. But I mean, here's a guy, he has all the money in the world, beautiful wife, successful career, but like, you can still tell if you follow him, like, there's a lot of struggle and strife in his life. And it's like, and I think that, 4 years ago when we started, I was like, oh, because I mean, we didn't have any money for like years, going through school. Like, I remember, like, even though we were in Atlanta, like, it gets cold there in the winter, and like, we wouldn't turn our heat on in our apartment above like 55 degrees, and we would walk around with like 3 hooded sweatshirts. And I was thinking, like, man, someday when we have money, life's gonna be so sweet and easy. But it's funny because not only, I mean, life is great, but I don't think it's any better than it was then. And insanely, like, I look back on those times and think like, wow, like, I think about them so fondly, So it's just. That's just life, I guess,
So, do civil engineers get paid pretty well?
Yeah, good question, and that's something else I wanted to bring up. So when I was going through civil engineering school, I hooked on with this group called College Works Painting.
Yeah.
So they kind of teach you to be your own entrepreneur and like go door to door and sell paint jobs, and then in the summer you like run your own painting crews. And one thing they did was they gave us a list of books to read, and on that list was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And like, I read that book, I was like, yeah, you gotta like own your own business to make good money. And then when we got out in the field engineering, I mean, I started making like $46,000, I think.
Yeah.
Which in 2006 was okay. I mean, I could live off $46,000 right now for the rest of my life, no problem. But I mean, I certainly make a little bit more now, and I don't think, being an engineer, I think probably the cap, if you're like an engineer, but like you're just working at an engineering firm, it's probably like 100K, maybe 150K a year is probably your like ceiling. And not only you do okay, but it's like if you look at a list of like the highest paying college degrees or whatever, it seems like engineering's all at the top of those.
Yeah.
But I think those are all based on if you're an employee. It's like you're probably better off like being a doctor or something, from what I've heard. I'm thinking like medical doctor even, and like having your own practice, like those are probably much higher paying. But I guess those aren't undergraduate degrees. So as far as undergrad degrees, like engineers, but it's like engineering doesn't have that entrepreneurial spirit like bred into it. It's very much like no one was ever like, this is how you go start your own engineering firm. It was very much like go and like work your way up nice and slowly, and maybe you'll be a partner at some point in an engineering firm. And that none of that really ever spoke to me. When I was working as an engineer, there was a lot of older guys there, and like they certainly didn't seem to be enjoying it very much. And I was like, gosh, I cannot do this for the next like 40 years and be that guy, So
yeah, I mean, when you talk about college and traditional academia, you're right. It's not geared for entrepreneurs. I think we read a lot of books, and a lot of like the gurus out there will tell you kind of that, where it's just they teach you how to work within the system.
Yeah.
So they make you good employees. You might become an engineer. You're never going to start your own firm. Stuff like that.
Exactly.
But there's a different type of person that a lot of times college just doesn't help or actually hurts them, and they go out. They know how to start a business, or they take the risk to do so, and it's hard on that end because there's no scale. You could go out there, start a business, and make millions of dollars, or you go out and fail in 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way to be like, if you're such and such an age with this degree, you could make $1 million as an entrepreneur.
Exactly. we have a 7-month-old son right now, and like, if he really is dying to go to college, I'll be like, yeah, go ahead if you want. But I'm not going to be, like, encouraging him. Where I think my generation, I graduated high school in 2000. It was, like, just like, you're going to college.
Yeah.
Period. And I think that was born from a time in, like, the 70s and 80s where, like, college was very affordable. And, like, if you went to college, you were way ahead of the people that didn't. But I think now, if you go to college, at best you're like at the same level as the people that don't.
Yeah.
At worst, you're like way in debt, you're behind, like, yippee, you have a college degree. I mean, I hear all these stories about people that, like, graduate college and then they go, like, work a job that they totally could have done without any college education.
Absolutely.
It's like, what? It's like, if you want to go to college for the experience and the partying and whatever, like, I guess I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, there's plenty of partying to be had outside of going to college. And, you know, now it's like when I went to school, I first started off at Worcester Polytech. I want to say it was like $26K a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's probably like, I don't even know, 45.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, too, because, you know, the car that cost $26K in 2000 probably costs like $30K now. You know, it's like the inflation of college has just gone out of control, and it's clear that a bubble is going to burst there. And, like, there's probably some opportunity to start up, like, some, like, universities or whatever that could be, like, alternatives to college that, like, yeah, maybe you don't get, like, a nationally accredited college degree for whatever that's worth, but, like, you're given, like, better skills. Like, you know, for instance, you could go to, like, trade school or whatever, but, like, there could be, like, a podcast university or whatever. I mean, I know, like, you can buy online courses and things like that, but, like, you know, something like that, I think those will probably be what takes over.
Yeah.
And all these colleges are probably going to go out of business
Well,
in the
I
next,
agree
like,
with you.
50 years.
And without getting political, I have to say that every time because I totally get political.
Yeah.
You're right. I think colleges are becoming too expensive. What they put out isn't worth the money. The only reason they are is it's kind of wrapped into the government where they're like, yeah, we'll pay for it. And it's the benefit's not there. So
no, there's huge government subsidies, and it makes me wonder if we just pulled all those subsidies, what the tuition of college would look like. And it's like, yeah, all of a sudden, you know, you wouldn't need, like, French literature to get an associate's degree to go cut hair or something. Not cut hair, but, like, you know, go be, you know, in the program that goes to, like, dental hygiene school. Like, there, you know, there's all these, like, oh, well, we want the people to be well-rounded. It's like, yeah, but you're teaching them stuff that, like, they could learn in a YouTube video. Like,
well, that's a really good point, actually. And I think we're getting a little off chiropractic care here, but the internet, I think, is going to do to college what Netflix did to Blockbuster.
Yeah, right? There you go.
And they're not even going to see it coming. Or they are going to see it coming, and they're fighting it, which is kind of what you see happening. And it's just, they're just going to crush. It's going to get crushed.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I understand we want, like, an educated society, so I'm not saying, like, we have to go, like, full no government subsidies for anything, but, like, look at, you know, what do we need?
Yeah.
Because I think, like I said, you know, so many people are coming out with, like, huge debt. I mean, my wife and I have huge college debt, and believe me, like, there was a lot of classes that we took in chiropractic college that, like, the chiropractor that graduated in 1985 didn't have to take.
Yeah.
But it's like, the second the government starts giving out money to these colleges for the longer curriculum, you know, the second these colleges figure out, like, more curriculum, eh? So it's like, it's just incentives.
Yeah. I've always said that a traditional college would be better structured if, like, you went for a year. So you have your first year where you actually learn how to write a paper, how to do, your very basic things, how to work at that college level.
Yeah.
And then even the next 4 years run almost like an internship where you're out in the market working. Because it makes no sense to have 4 years of classes they don't need.
Exactly.
It makes no sense, except for that the schools earn money. So, it's...
Yeah, it's a racket like anything. So
Yeah.
now, you just got to be smart. Be like, where are the opportunities?
Yeah.
And like now it's like, if I want to get an electrician to my house to change an outlet or something, I got to call like 5 guys because, the first 4 are too busy,
Yep.
So it's like now it's like, it's in the trades and whatever that
Yep.
there's probably more opportunity.
Yeah, because college has killed people
Yeah.
going into the trades.
Exactly.
So now, if you want to make a bunch of money, become an electrician or a plumber, and you can make a ton of money.
Exactly. And, maybe in 20 years it'll be the opposite and there'll be electricians everywhere and no engineers. I don't know. I think it's funny. There's a few people that are out there, like, who's that dirty job? Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
Out there saying, like, we need more trades guys. But it's like, it seems like there's more people that are like, we need more science and math guys. We need more science and math guys. And I don't know. I feel like there's enough science and math. I don't know. What do we need them for? Like, seems like tech and science and things, like, I mean, are we trying to go back to the moon or something? Like, what do we need it
Well,
for?
we're establishing a space force, which I am down for if you want to contact me. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
But
I would go to space, I think, if you wanted me to.
Oh, that's too funny. Hey, so I'm going to take a quick break for the sponsors. Everyone hold on. Okay, everyone, next month, July 23rd, we are doing the New Hampshire Business Show get-together, or guest appreciation night, however you would like to word it. If you haven't let me know, jump in the description below. Let me know who's coming so I can plan for food and all that type of stuff. We have a lot of really cool things coming along, so it's kind of it's a get-together so we can say thank you for those who have been on the show, as well as a networking night for everyone else. So, because there's going to be people there who haven't been on the show yet. So, you get to show them how awesome it is, how tight this community is getting, and altogether it's going to be a really fun night. There is only 3 things you need to be successful in sales. You need a good offer, you need to know your audience, and you need to be able to follow up, right? So, because you're part of the New Hampshire Business Show, I'm always helping you with this type of thing. So, if you need to be working on your offer and you know that's something you need to be working on, check out the Gold Mine Sales Series. You get 25% off using the code NHBS25. Links in the description below. Try them out. This is a point I was actually going to bring up earlier. So, we took a pretty hard tangent there for a little bit. But, so we went from, you said you and your wife were in civil engineering?
Yeah.
Okay. So you both decided at the same time to essentially become chiropractors?
Well, I talked her into it.
Okay. Yeah. But essentially you both decided at some point to become chiropractors. That's risky. Like, that was a big decision to go from, somewhat steady to that. What was like the big driving force there?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life being miserable just to, like, stay safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always felt like whatever I need to do, I'll be okay. Like, I'm not going to miss any meals. Growing up, I worked for my parents doing glass work and stuff, like windows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, worst case scenario, I can always go do that or do something. Like, I always knew, like, I was going to be fine, essentially. I didn't really have anything invested in engineering. My parents paid for whatever I had owed up to that point for college. So, I mean, that was fine. When I went to chiropractic school, I was, like, essentially completely debt-free, which...
that's a good start.
Yeah. So at least, I was free in that regard to do... It's like, hey, at the time I was 27, 28 years old that we were making that decision. It's like, I'm a young man. I have this opportunity to, like, do something big, like, gotta do something, because I knew that if we didn't, I would always think, like, what if we had, you know, if I had gone back to engineering, I would always be like, gosh, you know, every day I probably would have thought, like, oh, I could be doing something. And probably in my mind, being the chiropractor would be like 100 times better than it even is in reality now, you know. It is great, and it's really, you know, a fun job to have. But, I mean, there's struggles like anything, but I know that, like, driving to that engineering job when I was, like, you know, when I'm 40 years old, I'd be thinking, like, gosh, being a chiropractor would be the greatest thing ever, you know? So I knew I couldn't live like that.
That's pretty good. I like that. I like when people take the risk, because I kind of did the same thing back in the day. I couldn't take working like that anymore.
Yeah.
So you had to jump off and do something else. Or
what were you doing?
Whole bunch of things. So I was in the military for a while, and that was absolutely killing me.
Yeah.
And then when I got out, I was in car sales, which I still kind of do now to pay some bills, but I get to do this.
Yeah.
And I get to, you know, I have that outlet, and eventually I won't have to do that anymore because the show will be doing what it needs to do. And then I'll just be doing this, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I understand your pain.
Sure, right? Yeah, that's good. You're living your dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool, you know. I mean, ever since I learned about, like, podcasts and kind of saw a few I've been thinking, like, wow, that'd be really cool. There's quite a few chiropractic podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
There was, like, a great one from, like, 2013, 2014 until, like, 2015 or 16. But the guy started doing so well between podcasting and some other internet-based things that he not only left his office, I mean, he's still, like, around, but he really doesn't do that many podcasts anymore.
Yeah.
So we need someone to, like, take up the torch on that.
Well, there you go.
I know.
You should do it.
I would like to. It was funny because I also really enjoy, like, podcasts about movies.
Yeah.
So my wife and I were just, like, playing around. I was like, we like movies. We should just start our own movie podcast. I was like, all right, we're going to watch a movie, and then we're going to do a podcast. Picking a movie to watch, for one thing, was hard enough. Mm-hmm. And then actually, like, watching it and doing the podcast, so we only did one. We did Clueless, which was great.
That's funny.
That was very fun, but so maybe that's just too intensive. But yeah, the chiropractor podcast. You know, there's a couple other ones that are going on, but I don't know if they're that good. It's probably, you know, it's harder to do what you're doing, just like the actual hosting. Never mind the fact that I'm, like, totally intimidated by the tech side of things. I still do not understand it.
Yeah.
And I've you know, signed up for, like, what's the Entrepreneur on Fire guy's name?
Oh,
John Lee Dumas.
Yes.
I got his, like, free course or whatever, and I, like, went through it, and I, like, by, like, the third email, my brain exploded. I was like, I don't get this.
Yeah. It's actually really cool. I'm actually in, I took most of that just to learn another view, and he's pretty good. I like doing this. He's actually reviewed my show before, which is kind of funny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Awesome.
Cool. So we're getting pretty close to the end of it. People that are interested in working with you, want to learn a little more, how do they do it?
Yeah, you can go on our website, lfchiropractic.com, so, like, Live Free Chiropractic, lfchiropractic.com, or we have a Facebook page. I think it's Facebook/Live Free Chiro Nashua. And I will just say one thing that makes us unique as chiropractors: we do a really gentle technique without any twisting, cracking, or popping. So that's just one thing that kind of makes us a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with the twisting and cracking style of chiropractic, but we just offer a more gentle technique, and a lot of people seem to respond well to it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that again sometime, because that's a lot different than a lot of people do. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a technique that my wife and I discovered sort of late in our chiropractic college time, but it's nice because not only is it gentle for people, but it's really interchangeable between us two. So whether my wife's adjusting a person or I'm adjusting them, they get a very similar adjustment.
It's pretty good. That's cool. Awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for joining me on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to have the last word from our sponsors, and everyone have a great day. If you're looking for a new way to advertise your business and you like kind of being on the front edge of some really cool things, think about becoming a sponsor for the New Hampshire Business Show. I deal every week with 7 to 8 or more of some of the newest and coolest entrepreneurs in New Hampshire. So if that's the type of market you want to be in front of, reach out, let me know, and we'll talk sponsorships. That's it for today, everyone, but it doesn't have to end there. Head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or iHeartRadio to get more from New Hampshire's top entrepreneurs.